How's it going? This is just going to be a quick video showing you my setup for interviews and a little bit of Q&A at the end as well. If you haven't already subscribed, please do for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. I'm just going to give you a quick look at my setup and just go over some of the equipment I use. So as my main key light, I'm using the Godox SL60, and I have a really big softbox attached to that. For my mic, I'm just using a Blue Yeti, and as my fill light, I'm using just a small Neewer CN160, and I just use that to bounce light off the wall. As for my main camera I use, it is the Lumix G85 and some random webcam. Hopefully you can see that. That's what my guests essentially see. Since you don't really get a good look at my back shelf, because it's not really in focus during my videos, here are the things that are on the shelf. As you can see, I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan. And this Spider-Man issue right there, Amazing Spider-Man 136, is one of my favorite covers. And believe it or not, these climbing men I have on my shelf, I had them before I actually got into climbing. And this guy right here is super unique. He is from my friend's lab. So he is a professor, and he gives these out to participants in his experiments. So he's a psychology professor. And I don't think he has this one anymore, so it's definitely limited quantity. Alright, so this is how it looks when I am recording an interview. So on the monitor on my left is usually where I have my guest, so it's usually in a Zoom call, and on the right monitor I have OBS Streamlabs open. So as you can see on here, the G85 is the video on the left in the teal, and the pink window on here is capturing my left monitor. So you can just see that up there, and here you can compare the quality of the camera. So the G85 has way better quality than my $25 webcam. Unfortunately, my guests are subjected to this webcam, but in the final product, you all don't see that. So in this video, I just decided to throw in some Q&A and answer some of my favorite questions from my interviews. So the first album I remember buying was Much Music's Big Shiny Tunes 2. And I believe I was in grade 6 at the time. And the two big songs from that album were Song 2 by Blur and Semi-Charmed Kinda Life by Third Eye Blind. And literally those are the only two songs I listened to on that CD, and just listened to them over and over again with my friends. And yeah, it was just really hilarious. If I could travel back in time to any time period, I would have to say I would travel to when dinosaurs were around. When I was a kid, dinosaurs were probably one of my favorite things in the world, and I actually had aspirations of becoming a paleontologist. But obviously that didn't really pan out. Anyway, I think it would just be amazing to see dinosaurs in the flesh and just marvel at their size and see how they were. I think one thing people might find surprising about me is that I am a huge fan of Korean dramas, and I actually only got into them, I believe, a few months ago, but I've already watched probably maybe 12 or so. And yeah, I started watching them because I started listening to Korean music, and I wanted a way to kind of, get a better understanding of the language. So I started watching Korean dramas, but I quickly fell in love with the genre. There are really emotional stuff. Definitely one of those things where I swear in every first episode of every show there's something emotional, and it will probably make me cry. That's just the type of thing. But Korean dramas aren't just strictly romance based. It's a wide variety of shows. I think if you're curious, I would highly suggest checking out something like Signal or Vagabond, which aren't really too, let's say, Korean drama-y, in the sense of like they're not solely based on romance. Rather, I could see them being shows in North America. So I'd say maybe give those two a try. And then if you want to go more towards like a traditional K-drama, you could watch something like Crash Landing on You, which was a big show in 2020. And I'm just going to throw this one in there because it's one of my favorite K-dramas, and it is on Netflix as well. Reply 1988. And actually all these shows I've just mentioned, you can find them on Netflix. Words of wisdom I try to live by. I think I heard this saying fairly recently, something along the lines of, we often suffer more in imagination than reality. So just thinking about how we build stuff up in our mind, we dwell on the past or worry about the future, when we should really be focusing on the present. And I think recently I've been really trying to live in this moment and not get dragged down by what's happened in the past and what tomorrow brings, because the only moment you can ever experience is the present, and I just really need to start remembering that. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next video.